Hey there, guys. I'm here with my WWE NXT May the 28th, 2024 review and ratings. And this has been a great NXT. Even before the crazy ending, the crazy debut of Ethan Page, spoiler alert for what we're going to talk about later, I was already going to do a review and ratings video because of the Jordynne Grace. I'm going to try and start doing these more regular show reviews, the Raw reviews, the SmackDown reviews. But I'm not going to promise you to do it after every show because it is hard to take that time out of the day to do it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're not just going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the future of NXT with Ethan Page, the future with the deals between TNA and WWE. So it's just a lot of stuff going on. We're going to go down everything that happened. Every segment, we're going to talk about it. Next up, I was just writing notes, so we're going to read the notes, then we're going to add some more to it. Starts off, Ava opens the show by inviting Sexyy Red to the ring. Sexyy Red comes out and announces she is going to host NXT Battleground. And she also reveals what the Women's North American Championship is going to look like. She kind of held it up, and then, of course, she was dancing because she is Sexyy Red. That is how she is. And I wrote right here, Sexyy Red is a very popular person in the media and will most likely help NXT, because we were going to talk about, is Sexyy Red going to help NXT, or is she going to hurt? Are people going to turn against the WWE because they were doing deals with Sexyy Red? I mean, I don't think so. I just think she's a popular person, and that's just her personality. I'm not really going to get into all of it and all that kind of stuff, but she made it entertaining. She did her job. So, yeah, I mean, she's a very popular rapper. So I guess she's very talented. When she shows the title, Tatum Paxley then tried taking the title from Sexyy Red. And they're like having a tug of war for the title. Sexyy Red's in here saying, I'm not even going to say it, but she basically said, let go of the belt to Tatum Paxley. It was hilarious. And then so Michin came out and was trying to take down Tatum Paxley. And so then they had a match qualifying for the Women's North American Championship qualifying ladder match. I said that wrong. So at Battleground, there's gonna be like a 6-women's ladder match, and whoever wins gets the Women's North American Championship. So this was kind of the qualifying match. There were 2 qualifying matches tonight for that match, and Michin versus Tatum Paxley was the first one. Michin ended up getting the win. The match, Michin showed some athleticism, as we already knew she had. Michin is very, very talented. I've been a fan of her since she was on the Indies, when she went by Jade in TNA or Impact. And so she's just a very, very talented individual. And I'm glad that they're going to let her get a singles run in NXT. I'm just ready for her to have a good singles run. So I'm thinking she's going to get it. She's going to be able to be in this ladder match, which is probably going to be a great match. A lot of great talent going into this match. And so, yeah, I'm going to give that a C. The beginning with Sexyy Red showing the title and announcing that she's going to host Battleground, which I think will be very fun. I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. It had me looking at the TV. So, yeah, I was kind of wondering what she was going to announce. I knew it was going to be the Women's North American Championship, but let's get a close view of it. All right, next up, we got Ridge Holland versus Riley Osborne. The match itself was pretty good. I mean, it's like your average match. I'm going to give it a B-, but the really interesting thing is me being a Chase U fan, y'all know, sometimes I got my Chase U gear on. I got some Chase U stuff. I'm just a big Chase U fan, so I'm just waiting to see what Thea Hale's decision is going to be. Like I wrote, Thea Hale is now deciding who she wants to side with, which has been good TV, and so it just adds on to that storyline. So yeah, and then we kind of got a segment later on where Thea Hale was kind of mad because the people aren't accepting Ridge Holland, and then Andre Chase is also with Thea. She wants them to accept Ridge Holland. And then you got Riley Osborne and Duke Hudson are saying he shouldn't be here. And so it's just very interesting right now. kind of having Thea Hale getting mad again. As we know, Thea Hale's, I guess Thea Hale's a little bipolar. Here recently, 1 minute she's like, chase you, and then the next moment she's kind of getting upset with him, which is, in my opinion, been very entertaining. But yeah, I'm going to give all of this a B-. Next up, let's move on. You got Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Edris Sanofi and Malik Blade, and they were accompanied by Brinley Reese. And something weird going on right now, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I'm glad they brought them down to NXT. I'm ready for them to get a little bit more interesting than they have been forever on the main roster. They've just been not good. Don't know how else to say it. But they're calling them the Good Brothers and also the OC. If you paid attention to one of their shirts, it literally said and then it said Good Brothers, and then OC in the middle. So the OC is not a faction anymore. They're not with AJ. They're not with Michin. So what is the OC? I don't know. I feel like they should just decide on one name. I don't mind. They can call them whatever they want to. The Good Brothers, the OC, the Bullet Club, whatever. They used to call them the Club when they first were in the WWE. Go back to that, whatever. But in this match, Edris Sanofi knocked over Brinley Reese, sending her to medical evaluation. Brinley Reese did not seem very happy about this. So maybe are we going to get like a heel turn from Brinley Reese? Haven't seen much from her yet. But I mean, I guess if she turns on him, it'd be kind of interesting. I don't really know. But yeah, whatever was their goal to do that, it kind of made it interesting. At the end, Nathan Frazier and Axiom attacked the OC and confirmed that we will be getting Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus the OC. I'm just going to call them the OC right now. Whatever you want to call them. You know who I'm talking about. And so I think that'll be a pretty good match at Battleground. No matter how uninteresting the OC has been on the main roster, I still believe that the OC are very talented. I've seen them on the indies. I think they're both great talents. They've spent time in New Japan and they were great there. I mean, they have hung with the best of them. They have been a part of the Bullet Club, one of the most craziest and factions they have created, some of the most greatest talents with Cody Rhodes. A lot of people were a part of the Bullet Club. Jay White, you got the Young Bucks, you got Kenny Omega, Finn Balor. So yeah, they're like in that realm of people, which is kind of awesome if you ask me. But overall, the match itself between Edris Sanofi and Malik Blade, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson was okay. I'm going to give it a B-. The more important part for me was that they confirmed the match for Battleground. I'm kind of excited for that. Nathan Frazier is one of my personal favorite rising stars, and Axiom is a great talent as well. So I think this will be a great match. Now is something that I did not expect. This was completely unpredictable. So Roxanne Perez comes out. She's accusing Ava of disrespecting her. So Ava says, I'm going to find you an opponent for Battleground. I'm going to find you somebody to prove yourself as the champion. Sitting here going through my mind, I'm like, who could it be? There's like, the women's roster is kind of slim right now within NXT with the call-ups of like all of their top stars, really, other than Roxanne Perez. I mean, they called up the young star that I thought was going to kind of jump in that role, Kiana James. Of course, you took their number one, Tiffany Stratton, Lyra Valkyria, and the other one, Blair Davenport, that could have easily have been a women's champion as well. So it's like, who is it? And then all of a sudden, it's Jordynne Grace from TNA. All right, she's shown up in the Royal Rumble. We know that TNA and WWE kind of have a working relationship, but only during the Royal Rumble. We haven't seen much more than Royal Rumble appearances from TNA people coming into the WWE. So this was just crazy. She's coming out, she's holding the Knockout champion, and she gets to talking. She's like, I'm going to hold 2 belts. So they're having a match at Battleground for Roxanne Perez's belt. And I wrote, this was so unpredictable. This is actually crazy. I really hope we get more of this. More TNA coming over to WWE, sending some of their stars over to shine on the bigger stage. I want to see Josh Alexander. I want to see people like Moose. People like, I know some people don't like Moose, but he would be cool to have with the WWE. I was seeing people creating custom posters. Worlds Collide posters, TNA versus NXT. The thing is if they get a working deal, are we only going to get NXT and TNA, or are we going to get main roster in TNA? Whichever one, I'm all for it. I'm excited. I want to see more of this. What was it called? Oh no. I can't remember. Forbidden Door. When we got New Japan versus AEW. That was one of AEW's best pay-per-views in a long time. So we know that these cross-brand shows really work. And I really enjoy seeing these people that a lot of them have never faced off before. And it's like, it's cool getting them in a new environment. And I think Jordynne Grace is just perfect for the WWE. She fits that mold. She has that look to her. She looks dominant. I mean, I'm scared of her. I'm not going to fight no Jordynne Grace. So, yeah, she just has that look to her. I feel like this was, I gave it an A+. That was an A+ segment. That was amazing. I hope we get some more crossovers because TNA has a lot of talent on their roster. I really like Alicia Edwards. She's a women's heel. She's a very, very good heel women's performer over there in TNA. I think it would be nice to see her come over. There's just a lot of crossings that I know a lot of people would like to see. Definitely Josh Alexander. That's one that everybody really wants to see. Eddie Edwards would be nice to come over. So yeah, this is great. And now we got a few segments. I'm going to go ahead and skip to one that happened later in the evening, but I'm just going to go ahead and cross it. So Stevie Turner is in the back talking to Ava, and she's like, how is Jordynne Grace getting an opportunity when I've been working so hard down in NXT Level Up and haven't received anything? But she gets to just come in. And so then all of a sudden, knock, knock, here comes Jordynne Grace. She's like, I hear you, and I actually completely understand. So they now confirm that we're going to get Jordynne Grace in her first ever singles WWE match, taking on kind of an interesting one for your first match in the WWE as a singles performer, Stevie Turner. And I think that'll be great. I mean, anything for Jordynne Grace to be able to show her talent. If these NXT fans, I don't know anybody that wouldn't have watched the Royal Rumble, but if you didn't see the Royal Rumble and you didn't get to see how talented Jordynne Grace is, this is going to be a good display of talent. I've never seen anything horrible from Jordynne Grace. She is always putting on a great show in TNA. So, and I'm also ready to see what Stevie Turner can do. I mean, it was a pretty nice promo. So, maybe we're going to get some more Stevie Turner as well. Now, we also got cameras found Oro Mensah laid out. Leads us wondering, who did it? Who comes straight to your mind? Trick Williams. We're going to talk more about that at the very end because it was revealed who did it later in the show, but we'll get back to it. There was also another segment where Sexyy Red agreed to back up Trick Williams and Javon Evans in their match versus Gallus in the main event. She was dancing with them, dapping them up, and so yes, she's going to be their manager for the night. Kind of just another way to get Sexyy Red involved. Next up, you got Lola Vice versus Ariana Grace. And so the story up to this match was that Ariana Grace truly didn't want to face Lola, and she seemed kind of scared. She didn't want to be in this place. And so I feel like this entire match was kind of just a placeholder to help build Lola Vice versus Shayna. That's what we're getting that in an underground match at Battleground. And so I'm pretty hyped up for that match. Shayna Baszler is amazing. She's always been one of my top women's performers. I think she's a great wrestler. And Lola Vice is this big upcoming star that I see being NXT Women's Champion. I see her coming up to the main roster and potentially being a top star on the main roster. She's just that talented. And so, but her match with Ariana Grace is a C. But after the match, she decided to start mocking Shayna Baszler, start talking junk. Then here comes Shayna Baszler. And as always, when these two face off, here comes the officials. They're holding them all back. And so then we cut to advertisement break, kind of just helping build up to that match, like I said. Next up, we get Dante Chen again on the main NXT roster. It's kind of weird saying the main NXT roster. But yeah, he's been spending time down in NXT Level Up. I'm a big fan of Dante Chen. I think he's a great performer. I watch NXT Level Up every single week, so I've got to see how talented he is. And so he's taken on Lexis King, another one of my personal favorites. I just feel like he's so charismatic. His promos are getting a lot better. He's pretty good in the ring. Lexis King is one of these guys. He's a second generational wrestler. Of course, in AEW, he was Brian Pillman Jr., so guess who his dad was? Brian Pillman. He's a great performer. But this match itself ended in a cheap fall by Dante. He kind of just rolled him up, snuck him out, 1, 2, 3. That's the end of the match. But it's a D+. But then after the match, Lexis King attacks Dante Chen. So I guess they're going to try and build up that feud. It's not a feud. I don't think we're ever going to get it like a PLE, like a NXT Battleground or something like that. But I thought it was pretty good TV. Even though it was a D+, it was pretty good TV. It's not going to weigh down the entire show because overall the show was amazing. Next up, we get a Josh Briggs vignette, and he promised to find himself. And so then they showed Shawn Spears in the back, just watching the vignette. Then he kind of starts acting interesting. Then he kind of says that he would lead the young to their answer. My bad, I can't even read my own handwriting. So he's going to try and help Josh Briggs, maybe. I don't know. It was kind of weird how Shawn Spears was acting. He was like playing like a mysterious type character. Kind of interesting. So yeah, good segment. Thumbs up on that segment. Next up, you got another match for the Women's North American Qualifier ladder match. This is Kalani Jordan taking on Ren St. Clair. And you have Fallon Henley on commentary for this match. Kalani Jordan gets the win and advances to this match. I figured this would happen. Ren St. Clair is a great talent. She's got time ahead of her. She just showed up in NXT not too long ago. But I think she's a great talent. But I think it's definitely going to help the match more if you get Kalani Jordan. She's going to have better spots than Ren St. Clair, in my opinion. The match itself was okay. I'm going to give it a C-. But let's move on. It's time for the main event. It's time for the main event. I'm sorry, you don't get that in AEW anymore. Mark Henry was just released. Well, no. I think his contract expired. But we don't get that on AEW anymore. So you get Trick Williams and Javon Evans. I'm just glad to see Javon Evans in this place right now. Go back and watch. When Javon Evans first debuted, guess who was making a video about him? Guess who was hyping him up? Me. I saw the talent in Javon Evans. He's just that guy that I see one match and I'm interested. I want to see more of this guy. So athletic. Javon Evans is very, very good. I'm excited to see where he goes. He's from my area. I've seen him on the indies. So I know how good this guy is. He has a lot of potential. His ceiling is very high. So they are coming out to the ring with Sexyy Red, taking on Gallus, which is kind of weird that it's actually Mark and Joe Coffey. It's not one of the Coffeys and Wolfgang. Usually that's what we see. We don't see both of the Coffeys together. But, I mean, this match itself was kind of mid, if I'm being honest. But Sexyy Red as a manager was absolutely hilarious. She's out there dancing. She's getting involved. She's making sure the Coffeys don't cheat. So that is funny. The match itself gets C+. It was your average match. It's not going to bring up the rating. It's not going to hurt the show. It was decent. But then after the match, here comes Lash Legend. Of course, being in relations with, or not, but like she deals with Oro Mensah. She's in his faction. So we're maybe going to find out who took him down. So after the match, Lash Legend came out and Sexyy Red and Javon Evans left. So it is now just Lash Legend and Trick Willie in the ring by themselves. Lash confronted Trick and asked if he took out Oro Mensah. Here the lights go out. Who could it be? And then Trick Williams is laid out by Ethan Page, the debuting Ethan Page. Ethan Page laid out Trick and he said, I took out Noam and I took out Aura. So this is very shocking and this was unleaked. I saw no post on Twitter saying, Ethan Page has been spotted at the Performance Center. He's going to show up tonight. I had no idea. it took until Ethan Page turns around for me to even figure out who it is. I mean, Trick Williams is on the floor and somebody's on top of him beating him up. I can't tell who that is. I see that he has brown hair, and that's about it. He stands up, and it is Ethan Page. I was very surprised. I love Ethan Page. I didn't quite expect him to show up in the WWE. I kind of expected him to going into the TNA brand. And so at the end, he raised up the NXT championship. So we will now get Ethan Page versus Trick Williams. Will we get it at NXT Battleground? I'm not sure. Probably. I don't know. But I'm just excited. This was a great night of wrestling. I'm still so excited about Jordynne Grace. That was my main thing. And then Ethan Page is just the sprinkles on top. And then you get Sexyy Red gonna be at NXT Battleground. She's gonna be the host of NXT Battleground. So that's gonna be even more entertaining. And so just a lot of good stuff happening in NXT. I was seeing posts and podcasters saying they're worried for NXT. They're scared. They have lost so many good talent. They're losing all their big guys. You got Carmelo Hayes. You got Braun Breaker and Ilya. These are the three guys that have been carrying NXT for the past few years. Who's going to take their spot? Now you got people like Ethan Page coming in. You got a working relationship with what seems like TNA. That's very, very exciting. I think it would be cool to get like a Survivor Series Worlds Collide type event. NXT versus TNA, or just TNA versus the WWE main roster would also be cool. But yeah, let me get your opinions down in the comments about this show. What do you think they're going to do with Ethan Page? Is Ethan Page NXT champion worthy? Should he beat Trick Williams? I don't think he should beat Trick Williams, but at the same time, do you want him to lose his first feud? I don't know. Is Trick Williams ready for the main roster? I think we got to eventually kind of get the ending to the Lash Legend and Trick Williams love story. We got to figure out what Lash Legend's decision is. Is she going to choose Metaphor, or is she going to pick Trick Willie? So yeah, this was an amazing NXT. Very happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed your NXT. A lot to look forward to. Next week we get Jordynne Grace in her first singles match, one-on-one in NXT versus... I would just say go on, but then I'm just going to keep thinking about it. I have to know. Stevie Turner, taking on Stevie Turner. I'm sorry, guys. But, yeah, so a lot to look forward. NXT Battlegrounds coming up. Y'all stay tuned for that. We're getting matches after matches announced. We got the women's 6-way ladder match coming up to figure out who's going to be the women's North American Championship, which is kind of weird. I feel like the champion just seemed like it was going to be given to Thea Hale. Is it because I'm a Chase U fan? Probably. But it just seemed like she was the perfect person for that. They were talking about her at the women's combine, talking about how she had a great performance. Then she loses her first match to qualify for this. I really didn't like that. It really irritated me that she didn't even get to make the match. All right, if she makes the match and loses, somebody else gets it, that's fine. But at least kind of have her involved. But I guess they're trying to worry about her and Ridge Holland and keep that storyline going. But overall, what a great NXT. I just keep talking and getting off topic. I act like I'm going to end, but then I keep talking. But yeah, this was great. I really enjoyed NXT. I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay tuned to the channel. A lot of good stuff happening in wrestling right now. I'll see you.